I got an email from Tracy through the Facebook, and she was in high school when I was in high school. I was a senior leaving. She was a freshman coming in. We were both on the play Rhymers of Eldridge.
Okay.
And when she contacted me, the first thing I said, well, are you somebody I dated? And she was like, no. And I said, okay, fine, we could talk. And we discussed the writing, and she said, oh, I love editing. And she went, she got the book. She's like, I didn't know you wrote like this. And I said, yeah, well, she goes, certainly needs some editing because that's her passion.
Right.
And she slapped my head around about that a bit. And, off to the races.
People.
Yeah, well, she corrects with her own way of getting it done, the ruler of all.
That's right.
But again, USAMUTT.com.
Right.
That site will give you poetry I've written before this. I have political slants. I have temple typings, which is like a stream of consciousness that, I just gave another name because I like to coin things myself.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, it's an entertaining site. I've got a lot of people who have bought the book and read it have told me that they think it's a good story, and they're anticipating the end, which is I'm working on right now, and that's expurgation. They're waiting on that. That's just about where we're at now. But
how long does it usually take to write a book?
Well, like I said, this one right here, this was the first book I wrote. This was 1,600 hours. It cost me about $5,000 to publish.
Yep.
And then the added marketing. Interestingly enough, two of my readers, one fellow in Spain who built the website that we're talking about, he bought 2% of the copyright in this book, and a friend in California bought another 2%. So being a guy who's trying to get the business done, I'm a little unorthodox, and this might not make publishers too happy, but I really don't care. I'm interested in any kind of marketing, any kind of way to get this thing on a paying basis, because ultimately what we want to do is we want to take the revenues of this and put it into a nonprofit, which helps people along with bills and rental, subsidizing, seeing to the needs of children, young families, that kind of thing. So we have a purpose and plan, and with your help and the generosity and cooperation of other people, we'll get there.
Awesome. There we go. Well, the general will tell you, we've had people who are involved with other charitable organizations and so forth like that for women who are pregnant and battered, don't know where to go, we've had different people on, and for the life of me, I can't. I don't know why I'm trying to find. But in any event, and he was on. There's a lot of charitable organizations out there that we have on the show.
Yeah.
And
and it's a great way to get the word out too.
Well, sure, but the world today, especially today, the world needs a little charity.
Well, sure.
And cooperation, generosity, and charity. Life would be a whole lot of a better life.
Without a doubt. And I think charity begins at home, too.
Absolutely.
Here in the United States, Connecticut, even in Waterbury, and in the state,
Local, you got to act locally to respond globally.
That's right.
Isn't that the same?
You
got to take care of your neighborhood, and you got to invest in that, and it'll be like one of those karmic explosions. Everybody will like it, and they'll want it, and they'll fight for it. And that's how you get it going, I guess.
If you could get this book to a publisher, you're saying you're...
Well, we're inviting any conversation with any publishing group, publisher. Sure, we'd love to get a writing contract. The material is that good.
Right. It would be nationwide. The book would be available.
The book is available right now, but we're trying to bring it back to my website. Anybody who's into purchasing books knows how to go about getting them. You can get this book, but we really want to bring it back to the site for purposes of retaining the funds to put into the nonprofit. That's what we're ultimately doing with this. But if a publisher wanted to talk to me, a publisher with an idea of a screenplay, that's something we're really interested in, because interestingly enough about this book, the characters don't have physical descriptions.
Right.
The characters are known by the qualities of the humanity. So any casting director, this would be like a drop, it would be a drop out of the sky from heaven to him, because now he's got no limitations of author definition.
Right.
So, I mean, to really, to be able to write like that and to be able to have people say, you know, that was really interesting, it's just a blessing on me, and I'm trying to bring it to, you know, to where other people can have some kind of enjoyment for it. So, yeah, but it's available now, but we want to try to centralize so we can make those dollars work otherwise for people.
Any phone numbers at all that from I know you gave out a site. Is there any numbers that you?
I can give you my personal cell if that's something you want, but generally we want to keep it to the web page.
Yeah,
you know.
If you'd want to say the web page name again.
Yes, it's USAMUTT. It's www.usamutt.com. You can go there. It's an interactive site. You can leave comments. We're working on that. Alva, the fellow who owns part of the copyright, is building the website. I could email him right now, and 5 minutes later, I'd get a response, and it would be done. And that's, Tracy will confirm that. This guy is unbelievable. So,
a lot of fun doing that.
A lot of good things are happening with this. It's a project I'm really excited about. I started in '05. You know, sometimes I feel like I've been carrying my own candle, but Tracy came in on board. I've got Alva, I've got other people interested, and I got a handful of readers. I don't think I've sold more than $100, but boy, the feedback and testimony they give me is just tremendous. I remember on the Cape, I was off taking pictures of a sunset, because I like to do that kind of stuff. And a couple of ladies in a van, they were like, are you a professional picture taker? And I said, no, I'm a struggling, starving author painting my mother's house because she needs it. And she goes, oh, that's nice. And I noticed that they were all kind of melancholy. And I said, is there something wrong? Are you all right? You seem a little down. And one of the women responded for a friend. She says, well, actually, it's kind of a tough time. We just buried her husband, who was a vet. And he said, you know, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize that. Let me do something for you. I had my books in my car. I was peddling my own stuff. I left an inscription, you know, to the circumstance of her loss. I presented her the book, and I said, take this for him. You know, just take this, and let this be something to comfort you in your new loneliness.
Right.
About 2 weeks later, maybe it was a month, this lady who read my book tracked my mother down on the Cape, and she said, are you the mother of the writer, Martin Petrie? And my mother responded positively, and she said, I got to tell you, he made a difference in my life with his writing that I'll never forget. And it was, when my mother told me that, I was, you know, that's the kind of thing that when you hear from something you've done in generosity and kindness, you know, it just makes it all the worthwhile. And
sometimes you got to cause a little chaos in the soul.
We love chaos.
Like a star, you know.
Okay, we love chaos. Chaos gives us inspiration.
That's right. Rise like the dancing star. Have chaos in the soul. I'm telling you, man, that's the real deal.
Right.
753-7593 is the real number to get in touch right here tonight with Martin
Petrie. Huh?
And so there you go.
Any questions? Maybe how to get into the business if you,
how someone would start off
if
with
you're...
The best thing to do if you want to be a writer is get yourself a piece of paper and a pencil and just put it down. Don't worry about anything. Write.